Hey, happy Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus on this November the 1st. I know, time flies. We are 2 months away from New Year's Day, which is slightly terrifying me. I'm 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi. As you can probably tell by that monologue, we don't have a ton of weather which to speak of. It is fairly calm. It is fairly cloudy out there. We have these kind of high-level lenticular clouds, mountain wave clouds. These are typical during the winter, during the colder months when we get northwest flow over the mountains. That's what's keeping things a bit on the cloudy side right now. But I'll also say this, I don't know if you were outside this morning. I was on my morning run this morning. It was a stunning sunrise. So these kinds of clouds that we're seeing right now, notorious for producing beautiful sunrises and sunsets. And also, if you're flying, if you're commercial aviation, these are not fun to fly through. These are caused by a little turbulent ripple in the atmosphere, and that can create added turbulence. So just keep that in mind if you're flying out there. You're gonna be fine, but it does make things a bit on the bumpy side if you're flying in or out. If you're flying over Colorado or flying in or out of the airport, again, just strap in for a few extra bumps if you're going through the airport. All right. View outside right now here in Denver. Again, a fair bit of cloud cover in place throughout this morning, and we'll have that throughout most of the day. Meantime, you get up to the other side of the Front Range, or you get on the other side of the mountains in the Continental Divide, and it's beautiful up at Loveland Ski Area, not a cloud in the sky, and that is, we're seeing some of those much sunnier conditions that'll help melt off some of that snowfall. So high clouds today. These are high-level clouds. These are, again, lenticular mountain wave clouds, warming up and staying dry for the next couple of days. Now notice here how those mountain wave clouds are so distinct over the Denver area. This is caused, again, by winds going over the mountains, and as you get them coming on the other side, that creates a bit of a turbulent ripple. You need some moisture in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere to create some of these clouds as well, and you get that little turbulent ripple, and that is what causes these clouds, that little bit of a disturbance along the Front Range, and that's, again, why they're notoriously bumpy to fly through. But anyways, notice some of those clouds there across the Denver area. Those will be around throughout the majority of the day today, and then tonight they'll dissipate as we kind of transition to more of a due westerly flow. That'll probably get rid of some of those mountain wave clouds. Temperatures, we're in the 40s and 50s right now here on the Eastern Plains. 20s and 30s for us into the mountains, and for today those highs will be in the 50s and 60s, Eastern Plains 40s and 50s into the mountains for the most part. So highs today near 60 degrees. Our average high for today is 59, so nothing too wild about a high temperature in the upper 50s for this time of year. This is, unlike the last few days, closer to what you would expect for this time of year. Excuse me. For tonight, temperatures drop back into the upper 30s and not as cold with those clearing skies. You might notice that sunset. Don't mean to depress you all that much, but we are 5 days away from our first pre-5 p.m. sunset of the year. As of course, we're going to move those clocks back. I should say we're going to move those clocks back an hour coming up on Saturday night into Sunday morning, which means, we get the extra hour sleep, but we also get a little bit earlier with that sunset coming up this weekend. Forecast lows for tonight, 20s, 30s for the most part here across the state, and for tomorrow, temperatures in the low 60s. More sunshine for tomorrow. That'll help spike those temperatures into low 60s here in eastern Colorado. Beautiful day ahead for tomorrow. Again, seasonal, a little bit warmer than average. Those highs in the low 60s. And again, tomorrow should be notably sunnier than today, though we will have some clouds around, especially during the evening. But should be, again, overall a sunnier day tomorrow compared to today. 60s for the most part. On that 7-day forecast, you do get a couple of weak storms. The current pattern is that these storms are staying well to our north, and that's why we're on the calm side. So we got this kind of this zonal northwest flow. What that means is that we're looking right now at a fairly calm overall pattern, and they'll stay that way into next week. And we'll say towards the end of next week may look a bit more, maybe our next feature to watch for. I'll also say this as well. Friday night into Saturday morning, may get a weak little push of rain Saturday morning into far northern Colorado along the Cheyenne Ridge, and then also into the high country, far northern parts of the Elk-Heads, the northern Front Range may see a few snowflakes Friday night into Saturday morning. System is going to stay well to our north, could produce a little bit of moisture out that way, and then Sunday night, Monday morning would be our next also possible little bit of snow for the mountains along and north of I-70. So how this all shakes out over the next few days, any rainfall, good luck finding a drop of rain anywhere here over the next really 5-6 days or so. This is through Sunday. And then snowfall wise, looks like, again, maybe by Sunday night, Monday morning, we get a little bit of snow into the high country. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. And by the way, today, the start of November, and just to recap our snowiest Novembers on record, 1946, we had 42 inches of snow. That's basically a full season's worth of snowfall that we got in 1 month back in November 1946. In 1991, we got about 30 inches. So November can be a very snowy month here along the Front Range, but it also can be a very not snowy month. In fact, just 2 years ago, November 2021, we only had a trace of snow. You might remember that. That was the awful fall that led up to the Marshall Fire. That's where we had no snow in September, October, November. The first time that's ever happened. 1883, a couple times in the 1880s, we had less than an inch of snow, and then 1900 also less than an inch of snow. So it can happen where we get snowless or low snow Novembers, but on average, we get about 7.5 inches worth of snowfall each November. Average monthly temperature is 40 degrees, and we get about 3/4 of an inch of total precipitation, rain and melted snow equivalent during the month of November. Last year, we, by the way, picked up 6.4 inches of snow here in Denver. So, again, November can be a snowy month. Right now, the current lean would be probably equal chances for a snowier or less snowy month in November. And temperature-wise, also looking, again, no strong signals right now. Some of the models, some of the long-range models hinting at maybe a bit more of an active November, but it's still pretty early in the month. And again, it's a little hard to tell. I know I get a lot of questions about El Nino. El Nino's impacts tend to be felt a little bit later into the winter months. So kind of January through April is where you feel it a bit more than, say, November. But top line takeaways in terms of that near-term forecast: cloudy today, sunnier tomorrow, temperatures on the mild side, maybe a bit of mountain snow this weekend in the far northern mountains. Not a big deal, even if we do get some. And then for us here along the Front Range, stays calm, stays dry into next week. Meteorologist Lauren Robinson will have an update for you coming up at 9 News at noon. Then we'll have Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin in at 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10 tonight on the 9 News Family Networks. Once again, I'm 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus.